Introduction. Overview of the Power of Now. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is a seminal work in the field of spiritual literature. Published in 1997, it has since become a bestseller, inspiring millions of readers around the world to explore the concept of living fully in the present moment. Tolle introduces the idea that the mind's constant chatter and obsession with the past and future prevent us from experiencing true peace and happiness. The central theme of the book revolves around the importance of embracing the present moment as the only reality and recognizing the illusory nature of time. Tolle argues that by disengaging from the mind and its incessant thoughts, individuals can transcend suffering and discover their true essence, which is rooted in stillness and presence. The book combines spiritual wisdom from various traditions, psychological insights, and practical advice to guide readers toward awakening to their true nature. Through this awakening, Tolle believes one can achieve a state of inner peace, joy, and liberation from the ego's dominance. Chapter 1. You are not your mind. In the opening chapter, Tolle challenges the conventional identification with the mind, suggesting that most of our suffering comes from our attachment to thoughts. He introduces the idea of the watcher, or the part of us that observes our thoughts without becoming entangled in them. By learning to observe the mind, we can begin to disidentify from it and experience a deeper sense of self that is not defined by thought. Key concepts. The illusion of the mind. Tolle argues that the mind is not who we truly are. It is a tool that can be used or misused. When the mind dominates, it creates an illusion of self, leading to suffering. The watcher. This concept refers to the awareness that exists beyond thought. By cultivating this awareness, one can observe thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Disidentification. The process of recognizing that thoughts are not the self and that they do not define our true essence. Important quotes. The mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the possessing entity, the thinker. Knowing this enables you to observe the entity. Key lessons. Understanding that you are not your mind is the first step toward liberation from suffering. Observing thoughts without judgment allows you to disidentify from them, leading to greater peace and clarity. True freedom comes from realizing that the self is not defined by thoughts but by a deeper awareness. Chapter 2. Consciousness, the way out of pain. In this chapter, Tolle delves into the nature of pain and how it is intrinsically tied to resistance to the present moment. He introduces the concept of the pain body, a collection of past emotional pain that lives within us and is activated by certain triggers. The chapter explores how identifying with this pain body perpetuates suffering and how consciousness can serve as a way out. Key concepts. The pain body. A key concept in Tolle's teachings, the pain body is the accumulation of past emotional pain that can become a separate entity within us. It feeds on negative emotions and is activated by similar energies. Presence as healing. Tolle argues that bringing awareness to the present moment can dissolve the pain body, as it cannot survive in the light of consciousness. Surrender. Accepting the present moment as it is, without resistance, is the path to ending suffering. Important quotes. The greater part of human pain is unnecessary. It is self-created as long as the unobserved mind runs your life. Pain can only feed on pain. Pain cannot feed on joy. It finds it quite indigestible. Key lessons. The pain body is an accumulation of past emotional suffering that can be transcended through presence. Conscious awareness of the pain body is the first step in dissolving it and freeing oneself from its grip. Surrendering to the present moment, without resistance, allows for the healing of deep-seated pain. Chapter 3. Moving deeply into the now. In this chapter, Tolle provides practical guidance on how to stay present and move deeply into the now. He discusses common obstacles to presence, such as the mind's addiction to time and the ego's need for drama. Tolle emphasizes that by becoming aware of these obstacles and practicing presence, we can live more fully and authentically. Key concepts: time and the mind. The mind is constantly focused on the past or future, creating an illusion of time that pulls us away from the present moment. The ego's drama. The ego thrives on conflict, drama, and identification with problems. By stepping out of this drama, we can experience peace. The power of now. The present moment is the only true reality. Everything else is a mental construct that takes us away from the truth of our being. Important quotes. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. Nothing ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. Key lessons. Time is an illusion created by the mind. True life unfolds only in the present moment. The ego's attachment to drama and problems can be transcended by focusing on the now. By making the present moment the focal point of your life, you can experience a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Chapter 4. Mind Strategies for Avoiding the Now. Tolle explores the various strategies the mind uses to avoid the present moment. These include overthinking, worrying, and the mind's obsession with problems. He also discusses how the ego resists being in the now because it fears losing control. This chapter provides insight into how to overcome these strategies and live more fully in the present. Key concepts. Overthinking. The mind tends to overthink and analyze, which distracts us from experiencing the now. Worry and anxiety. These emotions are often based on future scenarios that may never happen, pulling us away from the present. Ego resistance. The ego resists the now because it is based on identification with past and future, fearing its dissolution in the present moment. Important quotes. Worry pretends to be necessary but serves no useful purpose. The ego could be defined simply in this way: a dysfunctional relationship with the present moment. Key lessons. Overthinking and worrying are strategies the mind uses to avoid the present moment. Recognizing and disengaging from these mind patterns allows you to connect more deeply with the now. The ego's resistance to the present can be overcome by practicing mindfulness and embracing the now. Chapter 5. The State of Presence. In this chapter, Tolle describes what it means to be in a state of presence. He explains that presence is a state of consciousness where we are fully aware and awake in the present moment, without being caught up in thoughts. This state is the key to experiencing true peace and fulfillment. Key concepts. Presence, a state of being fully conscious and aware in the present moment, free from the mind's distractions. Awareness and being. Presence is about connecting with the deeper sense of being that is always present beyond the mind. Inner space. Tolle introduces the concept of inner space, which is the awareness that allows us to experience presence. Important quotes. Presence is when you are no longer waiting for the next moment, believing that the next moment will be more fulfilling than this one. To be aware of little quiet things, you need to be quiet inside. Key lessons. Presence is a state of pure awareness, where the mind's distractions are set aside. By connecting with the inner space of awareness, you can experience the fullness of being. True peace and fulfillment come from being fully present in each moment, without longing for the next. Chapter 6. The Inner Body. This chapter emphasizes the importance of connecting with the body to deepen one's state of presence. Tolle explains that by bringing attention to the inner body, we can anchor ourselves in the present moment and experience a deeper sense of aliveness and presence. Key concepts. Body awareness. Focusing on the inner body allows us to stay grounded in the present moment and connected to our true essence. Energy field. The inner body is described as an energy field that is always present and alive, providing a gateway to deeper consciousness. The lightness of being. Tolle discusses how being aware of the inner body leads to a feeling of lightness and peace. Important quotes. The more consciousness you direct into the inner body, the higher its vibrational frequency becomes. Your outer journey may contain 1,000,000 steps. Your inner journey only has one, the step you are taking right now. Key lessons. Connecting with the inner body helps anchor you in the present moment and deepens your sense of presence. The inner body is an energy field that provides a gateway to deeper consciousness and awareness. By maintaining awareness of the inner body, you can experience a sense of lightness and peace in everyday life. Chapter 7. Portals into the Unmanifested. In this chapter, Tolle introduces the concept of the unmanifested, which refers to the deeper dimension of reality beyond the physical world and the mind. He explains that the unmanifested is the source of all creation and that by accessing this deeper dimension, we can experience profound peace and connection to the essence of life. Tolle describes several portals or gateways through which one can enter the unmanifested, including stillness, silence, and the cessation of thought. Key concepts. The unmanifested. The unmanifested is the formless, timeless, and eternal aspect of existence, often described as the source of all that is manifest. It is beyond the physical and mental dimensions and is accessible only through presence. Portals to presence. Tolle identifies several portals that can lead us into the unmanifested. These include stillness, silence, surrender, and awareness of the inner body. These portals help us move beyond the egoic mind and connect with the deeper reality. The cessation of thought. One of the key portals into the unmanifested is the cessation of thought. When the mind becomes still, we can access the deeper dimension of being. Important quotes. The unmanifested is not separate from the manifested. It is the inner essence of all that exists. Stillness is your essential nature. What is stillness? The inner space or awareness in which the words on this page are being perceived and become thoughts. Key lessons. The unmanifested is the source of all creation and can be accessed through deep presence and stillness. Portals like stillness, silence, and the cessation of thought allow us to experience the unmanifested and connect with the essence of life. By accessing the unmanifested, we can experience profound peace, joy, and a sense of oneness with all of existence. Chapter 8. Enlightened Relationships. This chapter focuses on the concept of enlightened relationships, where both partners are deeply connected with their own inner presence and are not solely identified with the ego. Tolle explains that most relationships are based on the ego's needs and fears, leading to conflict and suffering. However, when individuals are present and aware, they can transcend these egoic patterns and create relationships grounded in love, acceptance, and mutual respect. Key concepts. The ego in relationships. Tolle describes how the ego often dominates relationships, leading to power struggles, conflict, and suffering. The ego is driven by a sense of lack and seeks to use relationships to fill this void. Enlightened relationships. An enlightened relationship is one in which both partners are rooted in presence and do not seek to use the other to fulfill their egoic needs. Such relationships are characterized by love, acceptance, and mutual support. The importance of presence. Presence is essential in relationships because it allows individuals to move beyond egoic patterns and connect with their true essence. This leads to deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Important quotes. If you both agree that the relationship will be your spiritual practice, so much the better. To love is to recognize yourself in another. Key lessons. Relationships dominated by the ego are often marked by conflict and suffering, as the ego seeks to fulfill its sense of lack through the other person. Enlightened relationships are grounded in presence and allow both partners to connect with their true selves, leading to deeper and more fulfilling connections. Practicing presence within relationships helps transcend egoic patterns and fosters love, acceptance, and mutual support. Chapter 9. Beyond happiness and unhappiness there is peace. In this chapter, Tolle explores the concept of true peace, which transcends the dualities of happiness and unhappiness. He explains that most people are caught in a cycle of seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, which keeps them trapped in the mind's fluctuations. True peace, according to Tolle, is found in the stillness and presence beyond these dualities. Key concepts: the cycle of pleasure and pain. Tolle explains that the mind is constantly seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, which creates a never-ending cycle of attachment and aversion. This cycle prevents us from experiencing true peace. Transcending duality. True peace is found by transcending the dualities of happiness and unhappiness. It is a state of being that is not dependent on external circumstances but arises from within. Inner peace. Inner peace is a state of stillness and presence that exists beyond the fluctuations of the mind. It is the foundation of true happiness and well-being. Important quotes. True happiness is found in the realization that happiness is not based on external circumstances. What is often called joy is the play of life energy itself. It is not dependent on anything or anyone. Key lessons. The mind's attachment to pleasure and avoidance of pain creates a cycle that prevents true peace and contentment. True peace is found by transcending the dualities of happiness and unhappiness and connecting with the stillness within. Inner peace is a state of being that arises from presence and is independent of external circumstances. Chapter 10. The Meaning of Surrender. The final chapter of The Power of Now focuses on the concept of surrender, which Tolle describes as the key to spiritual awakening and inner peace. Surrender, in this context, means accepting the present moment as it is, without resistance. Tolle explains that by surrendering to what is, we align ourselves with the flow of life and experience a profound sense of peace and freedom. Key concepts. Surrender to the present moment. Surrender means accepting the present moment fully, without trying to resist or change it. This acceptance is not passive, but an active alignment with the reality of now. Letting go of resistance. Resistance to what is creates suffering. By letting go of resistance, we can experience peace and flow with the natural rhythms of life. The power of acceptance. Acceptance of the present moment does not mean resignation, but rather a recognition that whatever happens is a part of the unfolding of life. This acceptance allows us to act from a place of inner peace and clarity. Important quotes. Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom of yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. Whatever you accept completely will take you to peace. Key lessons. Surrendering to the present moment, without resistance, is the key to inner peace and spiritual awakening. Letting go of resistance allows us to flow with the natural rhythms of life, reducing suffering and increasing peace. Acceptance of what is, without judgment or attachment, empowers us to act from a place of inner clarity and wisdom. Conclusion. Embracing the power of now. The power of now offers a transformative approach to living by teaching us to embrace the present moment as the only reality. Through the practices of presence, awareness, and surrender, Tolle guides us toward a life free from the suffering created by the mind. The key concepts of the book, such as the separation from the mind, the pain body, and the power of presence, serve as tools for awakening to our true essence. By living in the now, we can experience a profound sense of peace, fulfillment, and connection to the deeper dimensions of life. Tolle's teachings invite us to step out of the incessant stream of thought and into the timeless, formless reality of the present moment. In doing so, we discover that true peace and happiness are not found in external circumstances or future achievements, but in the simple awareness of being here, now.